Hey, welcome to this cozy little liminal Filofax setup. I'm kind of calling it a liminal setup because it gets to this time of year and you kind of need dates from the future in your Filofax, but you're not done with the year you're in. So this is me setting up a liminal Filofax. I've kind of expedited my setup video this year just because a lot of you in the comments when I make these videos, you tell me that these are really relaxing and comforting to watch, and I think we could all use a little bit more comfort at the moment. So I'm doing this and then we'll do a proper little setup again in December. So as you can see, I am gutting my Filofax. This is a Finsbury personal sized, which I think I got for Christmas in 2007 or 2008. It was a Christmas present from my mum, and it is an exact copy of the one that she used to have, and I used to play with it when I was a kid. So she needs a bit of TLC, as you can see, from a year of hard graft. So I'm just off. Cue the time jump. I've just cleaned this with a warm, wet microfiber cloth and a little bit of washing up liquid, and then I buffed over the leather with a little bit of balsam. I didn't add any balsam to the sponge, I just used a pre-balsamed sponge. It had some residue on it from when I was cleaning my Doc Martens, so I used a bit of that to moisturize it again and get rid of some of those scratches and just put some moisture back into the leather. I also made myself a cup of tea while I was at it. So what I'm going to do here is just pop my cover page back in, and obviously when I actually archive the pages from 2024, that cover page will go on the front of the binder rings so that I can tell which year and which diary I'm looking at. And this is me just deciding which monthly pages I'm gonna keep, how many months worth I actually need, and I make an executive decision here which I will go back on later on in the video. I also wasn't sure how many months I wanted to keep from this year. It's quite rare that I have to look back, but it's nice to have the option, isn't it? So I think initially I chose to just have November and December, and then later on in the video you'll see me change my mind and add in dates all the way back to August. Because in this life, you're allowed to change your mind. So I've tried to edit out a lot of my faffing around. I know that some of these videos, they're absolutely gorgeous and they're so satisfying to watch. Unfortunately, I have clumsy hands. It's the reason why I'm atrocious at any sort of dressmaking, or I can't play guitar. Anything that requires clever hands, piano, dexterity of the fingers and hands is not my one of my skills. So I've tried my hardest to make this as visually pleasing to watch as possible, but I've got these hands. There's nothing I can do about it, babe. I'm sorry. It's also worth noting that I filmed this video during a week when my partner was out of the country and I'm actually doing this voiceover and he's still away. So I've been by myself in the house for a week and I'm 90% sure I've gone insane. So me recording this voiceover is just an excuse to talk to a person. Okay, so this is my tube map and my notes section, and you'll notice just now I actually took out my address section, and that is because the custom inserts that I ordered for 2025 are hench. They are robust, they are rotund, they are girthy, as you'll see in a bit. And I'm not confident I've got room for addresses. So these are my brand new dividers. I went for the slutty white leather effect with gold. Anyone who is a long-time viewer will know that I used to get the black ones, and last year the Etsy seller sent me white by mistake, and I thought, do you know what, just go with it. And I actually think they look quite saucy. I kind of like them in like an 80s way, you know. I'm pretty into that aesthetic, so I ordered them again of my own volition. The last video I did was a shop for inserts with me video, so you can go back and watch me buy them. You'll also notice there's some bat stickers to the right. I thought I'd taken all of the stickers out of my shopping basket because I convinced myself I didn't need any stickers, and apparently I left some in there. So, whoops. Look at this, ungraceful. Look at that. To be fair, who stuck them down like that? That's a big mess, isn't it? Sorry. My monthly inserts. So this is what they look like before I've had my wicked way with them and customized the living shit out of them. And I just thought, have a couple of months worth. Unfortunately, this particular type is not predated. I've bought from this seller before, and I've managed to get hold of some monthly dashboards that are already dated, and for the last 2 years I've not managed to find those, so I'm having to write them in manually, which I don't love, but I like this seller a lot, so I was happy to go back and buy again. So I'm just going to pop some of those in. And in a future video we'll go forward and we'll number them up, and maybe we'll do the January dash together. And we can split this setup video into two, this one and that one. And I'll go through and do my book tracker and my notes section and set all of that up with you, and then finally put everything into its official binder rings. But for now, let's just kind of do this hybrid system and just enjoy a bit of time together here, just looking at a Filofax and forgetting about all of the things that might be worrying us at the moment. I'd like to be able to tell you what I'm doing here, but I've got no idea. Oh, putting my bookmark in. Go on, gal, you'll figure it out. There we go, just popping in a couple of extra months there. It's also quite helpful to do this because I'm taking off a different amount of time this Christmas than what I normally would, just because of where Christmas falls and how it's kind of ruined my normal system. So I'm taking different time off, and it's helpful for me to be able to look forward and know when I'm back at work and when I'm not. the new inserts. I custom designed these on the Filofax website using their insert making tool. Cost me 30 quid for the privilege, but this page does have my name on it, and that's quite cute, isn't it? And there's a little QR code here that you can scan, and it's got all your details saved, which is quite nice. You can put all of your anniversaries and birthdays and occasions in there as well, and it will auto-populate it for you, which really I should have done. And here they are. So it's quite zoomed in compared to what I'm used to. I usually go for a week across 2 pages, so I can have my diary open and flat next to me and just have a view of the whole week. So I'm really wondering how I'm going to get on with not being able to see everything. But this new system does allow me to put a daily task list on the right and all of my appointments by time on the left. So I'll check in with you probably around May or June next year and let you know how I got on with it, because I am feeling dubious. But it's nice to try something new, isn't it? It makes it feel like you've got a brand new diary every year if you mix it up, or you know. I always say in these videos, your Filofax, you're only going to reach for it if it's a system that works for you in your life. And in order for it to work for you, you've got to be thinking about what's not working and what is working and what you would change. So I change my setup fairly regularly, depending on how my life has changed and how my needs have changed, and anything that I want to try. And that's probably why I've been using a Filofax for so many years, just because I'm always thinking of how I can customize it specifically to me and my life. Now I've added a few more bill payment sheets in the back as well, and you've got to put the tube map back in there. I do use that. I always have used it. It came with the original book and I still use it. I like to use these clips just to keep those pages together. I know I've got that bookmark, but it's quite handy just to flip it straight over and get right to where you want to be. And I do the same thing with my finance pages actually. I fold them down and clip them together for easy access. And I also think I'm going to add in a few more months here. Just popped March in there. It's unlikely that I'll be booking any plans as far ahead as March, but it's good to know, isn't it? It's good to have the option. And then this is me just deciding that I do want a few more months in here as well. I actually used some new washi tape that I got for my birthday from my sister-in-law in this November setup. It's like all book themed washi tape and writing. It's really cool. There we go, turn it round, love, you'll be alright. You can definitely see that I'm having fun with my sticky gems. I bought them on impulse from the range while in a state of inebriation. I rarely make an impulse purchase. I'm very stingy, but on that occasion I will use a sticker. I will always use a sticker, and true to my word, I have enjoyed those stick-on gems. I really am loving them, I have to say. Don't know if I'll buy them again though. I'll use them until they're gone. Does anyone else like to keep a book of stamps inside their diary? I'm the go-to person for stamps in my house. No, I've had trouble closing that now because this Filofax is always so full that my cover page is usually bent round. So I've had to bend it back into place. Doesn't that look so much nicer now that it's moisturised and cleaned? Right, so now we're going to archive the old pages from 2024. And at the end of the year, I will obviously add the rest of the pages into it and pop the cover on there. And then I'll stash it away with the rest of my old Filofaxes. And you know what? It's very rare that I will need to look back in them. But I'm paranoid that if I get rid of it, I will need some information and I won't be able to find it. So I do like to just hang on to them for a little while. I got these binder rings on Amazon, and as you can see, I got a job lot, and I think they were about a £5. And particularly at this time of year when I'm not fully archiving the old pages, I will just pop a ring through the top and a ring through the bottom, because I am inevitably going to have to take them out to put the rest of the pages in there. So as you can see, it's a real pain in the arse to get everything on there. So I just want enough rings to keep everything in place. Little sip of tea. Actually, I'll have a sip of tea right now. I've reminded myself. Okay, let's get our 2025 diary set up. Well, 3/4 of it anyway. So this is the cover page that I've designed for 2025. It's got a real kind of Lost Boys girly vampire version kind of a feel to it. Do you think? I don't know. There's definitely a essence of vampire about the cover design. So this is my very technical method for hole punching. So what I do is I get one of my other inserts and I will just secure it in place with paper clips so it's not slipping around, and then I just use one side of a hole punch to make my holes. And I swear at one point I did see on the Filofax website that they actually sell their own hole punches, which are sized perfectly for each of the diary sizes that they sell. And initially I was loath to spend, what, a tenner, 15 quid on a specific Filofax hole punch. Like I said, I don't like spending money. But I did find myself tempted and I went back to look for it and I couldn't find it. So I'm just going to keep doing this system. Because really, you know, how often would I use it? I don't know. So initially I've tried here to kind of add a ring in here as I'm adding the inserts, but it's a system I quickly abandon. I can't remember why. Well, clearly because it didn't work, doing it that way. There you go, she's given up, bless her. At least you tried, babe. And now we get to the very satisfying practice of separating out the months and popping those dividers in. This is probably my favourite part of setting up a Filofax because it makes me feel like what I imagined an accountant or a secretary would be when I was a kid. if anyone else here grew up in the 80s and 90s and had a parent who worked from home, as I did, my mum had these plastic boxes filled with index cards, and she had a Rolodex and a Filofax and a really big calculator. And I loved nothing more than to put on those fake plastic nail tips. Did you ever have those? They look like the tips of fingers but with long nails on them that are painted pink. It sounds psychotic now that I say it out loud, but that was a thing. It used to be a thing. I used to put those on. I used to feel like that bitch. I used to sit in my mum's seat in her office and pretend to be on the telephone. We had a rotary dial, so that was fun with my long plastic nails, and flip through my index cards and shuffle papers and files. I was probably royally fucking my mum's filing system, by the way, and I was like, I'm a secretary, and that's what this makes me feel like. So even though you can't see my face in this video, please know that in that moment when I was organising those monthly inserts, I was very happy. In fact, I am happy just watching it back. So these are the cards that I have in mind for my goal tracker, like my yearly wins. I think I'm going to use this. I got it free last year with a passion planner that I bought from my stepdad. And what I'm going to do is punch some holes in it, and then when we get to do our proper Filofax setup, I think I'm going to put a big old white sticker over the back so I can write on it, or I will cover it with a really fun and jazzy paper. Here's me using my efficient hole punching system again. By the way, if you are new to these videos and you want to know how I make those cover pages, the collages, and how I laminate them, I have a whole video from, I think it was 2022, it could have been, where I do a kind of a arty collage with me video, and we design it together, and I talk you through the very specific types of magazines that I like to use for my collages, because I actually have some go-tos that always deliver, and how I put them together in terms of deciding what the mood and the style is going to be and how I layer things, and then my very effective laminating system, which includes laminating sheets from Wilko's, RIP, and an iron and a bit of cooking paper, because we're scrappy on this channel. We don't need all those fancy things that they got on TikTok. We can just use what we have. No need to spend out, says the woman that paid 30 quid for custom inserts. That still breaks my heart that I did that. I don't think I'm going to do that again. I just can't do it. Right, so when you see the girth of this diary, and bear in mind, we've taken out 3 months worth of inserts, and we're missing some of our dashboard pages as well. And we're already, I mean, what is that, like 1.5 inches? Holy cow, do you know what I mean? There's no room for addresses in this diary. In fact, fully assembled, it could probably kill a man. I don't know if I can actually say that on YouTube. We'll find out, won't we? When this video gets repressed. That's me swearing at the diary because I've just edited out about 5 minutes worth of me trying to get that bottom loop through. I broke it once and had to swap it out. So there we go. What is that building? Is that the building where they filmed Rosemary's Baby? If anyone's from New York, let me know. So here we go. Times on the left, space 4, tasks on the right, notes on the bottom, and a monthly overview in the bottom on the left page there. Very smart, don't you think? And so I'm going to use these note pages back here for the customized systems that I've designed. And these are my bill payment sheets. For some reason, tracking my expenses with pen and paper helps me manage my finances so much better. So here's just a little peek of my dashboards for the year. You can definitely see when the shiny gems took over. And this is just how I've got everything set up currently. That's an entire week on 2 pages. I also colour code with my highlighters what the appointments are. You know, just because I'm a very visual person, I need to have things like that. Okay, so these are my 2 half diaries and then my quarter diary. I'll just give you a brief tour of this as well, just while we're here. As I said, this is my lovely November layout, custom bookmark that I made myself. And here's my new pages. I love these calendar pages. Oh, that's UK holidays and dates, which I stipulated when I was making my inserts. I use the calendar sheets, weekly wins tracker, reading list, by the way, customized for how I like to do it, goals for the year, just miscellaneous notes, ironically, about this video. I've set up my own Christmas tracker in pencil so I can amend it, and then things to tell mum, you know, because sometimes you need to tell mum things and she's not around anymore. I was going to say I use my calendar overview for planning in holidays as a freelancer, very important. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next month for the full put together. Bye!